I'm in my garden today. The sun is really too bright to be doing it facing this direction, but I'm going to do it anyway so that you can see the flowers behind me. If we were to see them where they naturally occur, it's probably in a ditch, and we might think of them as weeds because they just grow wildly out there. But they're in my garden, so I'm going to call them flowers, and they are pretty. And the milkweed here, we've learned to appreciate in recent years. These Sundays we've been hearing parables of Jesus told in the Gospel according to Matthew. And many of them have to do with just daily life or images of agriculture, of growing things, of seeds and plants and weeds, like the parable of the sower and the seed a couple of weeks ago. And this coming Sunday we'll hear the parable of the mustard seed. When I hear that parable, I think of my father, who used to talk about the farmers in his congregation years ago in Illinois who pulled mustard in their field where it grew like a weed. But I'm thinking about weeds that grow in the woods. I love to spend time in the woods. But there are plants there that really aren't weeds because they're growing where they're supposed to grow, but they annoy me because they have these seeds on them that stick to your clothing if you just brush up against them. And you have to pick them off one by one, and if they get into fleece or a knit of some sort, they're almost impossible to remove. So sometimes when I find them, like on the cuff of my coat, as I walk along, I'll pick at them and pull them off and drop them, which is exactly what the plants want. It's an ingenious method of propagation. George de Mestral, a Swiss engineer, ran into these things hunting with his dog and always had to pick them off of himself and his dog when he got home. But in 1941 he was inspired by them and he invented the hook and loop fastener that we know as Velcro. Katie Luther was also inspired by these same kinds of seeds, but she was inspired to use them as an image for her faith. Martin Luther wrote in the Small Catechism, saying, "That upon which you set your heart and put your trust is really your God." In other words, whatever's first in your life, whatever to which all else in your life defers, whatever you hang on to and won't let go, whatever you fear losing more than anything else, whatever you look to for support and reassurance, that is really your God. And it can be anything, but only the God who is revealed in our Lord Jesus is worthy of having this place in our life. Katie Luther declared her faith in this God using the image of the seeds of the type that I was just talking about. In her last known, or at least last recorded words before she died, Katie said, "I will cling to God like a burr in a coat." God grant us this kind of tenacious faith. I am Pastor Mark Erlaub. This is Light for Today.